doing today? I want to ask you a question. Are you asking the right question at the right time? Before we're finished, you'll discover how easy it is to get your potential customers to say yes to whatever you're offering within 30 minutes or less. Believe me when I tell you that if I would have learned this magic formula when I first began on my career, oh my God, my struggles would have been over immediately. Okay? So I want to tell you that the essential assets of selling is contrary to what you've been taught, you believed, or been shown before, is totally different about convincing or pursuing or manipulating or pressuring in someone to do something that they want. It's not all about that at all, okay? So that's why an average salesperson does, okay? When you start off by telling a person about you, your product, your company, your solution too early in the conversation, you're more likely to cause the rejection. They already started thinking about it. And it's happened almost every time. You have to throw up all these objections. Well, your product is too expensive. I read bad reviews, whatever, okay? They're already in their mind to a point where they're already blocked, okay? So in the traditional sales way that we're taught to, that you've got to have trigger sales pressure, if you encounter resistance or lead your objections, then you have to learn to handle all these techniques and closing techniques. Why do you want to go through all that stress? Okay, the average person, or the average salesperson, because of what they're communicating, the traditional selling, gets objected and thrown in their face, and they have to come up with 12 different objections just to cross the closing bridge. Okay, in the traditional thing, but to be truthful, the seven-figure earner, they don't go through all that problems, okay? You see, the power of the dialogue, and what I'm referring to is questions, okay? I'm referring to questions you probably already learned. They're discussed with the people to say what you want them to say. The questions I'm referring to are people that they intend to do business. Sorry, it's live. But you want to bring these people into down in an internal and an external trust, and most importantly, you want to get them to have that emotional feeling. Then at that point, when you're talking about that with your person, who knows more about your potential customer, themselves or you? Well, of course it's them, right? So write this down. It's not about persuading them. It's about the person persuading themselves, okay? Realizing that your potential client has a history. They know it. They know what they need. They have the answers for you to make the sales. You, on the other hand, you have the solution, so your solution, your problem, you recognize it. And whether it's specific aspects, if you listen to what they're saying, they will actually tell you what they need, so you can tailor your situation to their needs, okay? So all you really need to do is have the right questions, right? That's all you need. It's that simple. However, you also need to know when to ask those specific questions. So asking this eliminates you to persuade them, okay? You're not telling them about you. You're not telling them about your story. You're not closing. You're not handling objection techniques. You simply eliminate all of those objections and the concerns of selling conversation. Well, if you do that, who helps convince themselves? They do, okay? Because they're the one that's talking about themselves. They're revealing problems that they're more important to them to resolve them, okay? That's because it's all about them, not about you, okay? Now, in the way to earn seven-figure and the training, you will learn with me the proper how to be eliminating questions, how to stop pursuing them, and really help get down into the emotional power. And some have little effects, some have huge effects. When you learn the master of the power of the dialogue, You literally have your prospects, clients break down to you, tell them literally everything that you need to know to see how you can help them solve their problems, okay? And do you think that once you get to their emotional level that they would be a strong candidate for you to sell them something? Okay? You betcha they will be. When you learn how to ask the right questions at the right time of the conversation, it will prepare your potential customers to open up to what you're offering and persuading themselves on the idea that you have to help. Okay? Realize that in this new economy, the sales is not made at the end of the conversation, okay? It's made at the very first, the hello, okay? So let me give you an example. Okay, you're in a place of business or you get a call or something like that. Well, immediately when you first get on there, if somebody comes in and says, hey, my name is so-and-so, I'm with company so-and-so, and I've got the best ever. Well, what goes into your mind the first 3 to 5 seconds that you see them, right? Oh no, another sales pitch. Okay, and so you're first, you want to get rid of them. That's what you're doing. You're trying to move them along. You don't want to have that sales pitch. So it actually begins with hello. Asking the questions, the skill questions, is sometimes referred as the art of selling. When you both get logical, emotional questions, your answer your prospect gives you is the sign that is pinpointing you in the direction to take the sales. You will discover that if there's a problem, what's causing the problem, and the most important of it is how it's affecting them, okay? As you listen to their answers for your questions, your current features, your solutions will match up with what they're telling you that they're looking for. In their eyes, you become somebody that cares about them and only them and what they are looking for, and you're just not trying to shove something down their throat, okay? It's like throwing something out there and hoping that you get response, right? Well, that's not the way it works. What they do, if you get into that emotional level, you get into the trusted authority, okay? They come to you as the solution, okay? So, questions. So let's look at these questions, okay? Questions gather, they analyze, and they diagnose. They help you uncover the problem, and they find out what their current situation is to help them analyze and diagnose the problems. What's causing the problems, how it's affecting them, how that they will help them find the solution immediately. The questions involves the other person. It makes them feel part of the process. When you're asking questions, you're listening, you're responding to answering and asking additional questions to go deeper into the conversation. You will gain understanding. Remember last video I was saying about getting underneath, down below the surface questions. You've got to go into a deeper emotional conversation with your prospective customers, okay? By doing this, questions initially persuades themselves, okay? Asking skill questions is very important to get emotional into your emotional to your customer, okay? It will make them automatically feel like you're taking action now instead of down the road or next day or whatever. You make them come to realize why are they still in that situation, okay? Questions put you into control of the conversation. And I'm not talking about the power of manipulating them into a situation. I'm talking about by keeping the conversation going in the right path, okay? Because you can get off, but you've got to be able to help step-by-step process, which I can teach you, that you'll be able to keep them on the right path with the skill questions, okay? Questions persuade other people, okay? By asking easy questions, your prospective customers are not only telling you what their problems are, They're also what the problem is, what they cause, how they're affecting them, and everything. They'll call. This will cause them actually to tell themselves when they're actually answering these questions. So that gives the different perspective on why they keep allowing these problems to have, and it gets them the motivation to see if they need to change that situation. Remember, you can't help no one unless they're willing to change their situation. So your job is to help them get to the point where they want to make a change. Okay, how will you do that? By empowering you and to dig deeper, get on an emotional level with your potential your customers. Okay, they view you as the trusted authority. Okay, well, let me give you an example. Okay, you go to the doctor. There's something wrong with you. You go in there and you say, "Doc, I'm not feeling good." Well, he just comes in, "Hey, my name is Dr. So-and-so. Here's your prescription. Come back and see me in 2 weeks." Well, he don't do that. He sits down with you. He asks you what's going on. Describe what you're feeling. He's got the solution, but he needs to know what the problem is and that you're willing to take his solution to help fix your problem. Okay, so as you go through this process, that I can show you that you become the expert, the trusted authority. You get to learn about their problems and their skills with these skill questions. You become an expert problem finder. Okay, questions open up concerns. Your question will open up your prospect to really think and concerned of not making the change. How is it affecting them if they don't do anything right now to solve the problem? Okay, so this is the key. By asking the right questions at the right time in the conversation, you automatically create value with who you are and your prospects. Because here, the first time in a long time, somebody is actually going to care to listen to their problems. So let's just say that you're in a franchise or business, okay? So you've got a booth setting up, and they come to you and say, "Well, tell me about your job," and or whatever, right? Instead of going into the classic sales pitch of find out why they're asking that question. Now, I say briefly go over, a couple of points that you like to throw out there. Like, here's something. Well, you know how a lot of people nowadays are finding it harder to get by with the corporate downsizing, lack of job security, or the high cost of living. What we do, we help people like you set up a new franchise business, and so that you can take care of themselves and their family. Okay? You want to immediately follow up with more questions at why do they want to get that? You've got to go into background questions. And this is what I can teach you how to do this. So you are on a two-way dialogue. You're not in a sales pitch, okay? You find out the background questions about your present situation, how long you've been doing this, what it's about, what's affecting them, and then you can move forward to find out what you can do to help find a solution, okay? Why is their problem? What are they doing for it? Whether they want to change now, okay? Questions get them to open up to your idea. You make a suggestion like, what if you thought it's not like you thought it would be? Would you be open to see how I can help you find the solution? Well, if you've had this conversation going, they're not going to say, "Well, hell no, I'm not going to do that." 99% of the time, they'll say yes, okay? Questions help your prospects overcome their own concerns. The key to the new economy and selling these days, when you're faced with your prospect that has concerns, instead of handling it like objections, you address them by asking questions to find out in the conversation to understand why they're asking this. Okay, asking skill questions can help you come up with their own solution to overcome their solution, to overcome their own concerns, because they answer the questions. They come up with their own answers. You're guiding them. Okay, if you tell your prospect your solution outright, you'll be the one at the end of the conversation of your problem, your solution. You're not getting into the emotional connection to them. So as the client gets emotionally attached to this, then they go into a deeper understanding, and they want to do something about it. And you know how it is. Like if you go, let's just say that you go to a seminar, okay, or a live event or something like that, and you get there and you're all hyped up, right? But then it fades after Popular Girl this morning. But anyway, what I was saying is, unless you can get down into the emotional portion, it doesn't matter what the concerns. You get on a subconscious initially of what they're saying and the answers to help them look at the challenge and the beliefs of keeping aloud, the presentation, of the solution to help them keep going. When you ask the questions, people tell you their problems, why they're having that problem, what concerns them, and then it's like, why, they're convinced that, well, why am I, letting this happen? So why am I commuting to work, and going to a job that I actually can't stand, and I can't stand with the people? Why can't I do just like this lady here sitting on her front porch in the middle of the afternoon or morning here, and why can't I do that and have the freedom to travel and enjoy your surroundings and actually enjoy life again? So let me ask you, so do you think that it's more powerful when your potential customer persuades themselves that it's time for them to make a change? Or are you trying to persuade them into making their change now? Which more is powerful, do you think? Okay, well, you know the answer, right? It's so much easier when they're convinced themselves from the questions you ask, okay? So it's not an external, it's more internal, okay? But by doing that, you can see the difference, right? So later in the conversation, after you've listened, you suggested that you might have a solution to take care of this potential problem, help them with what is going on with their lives. Do you think that these potential customers will be open to listening to your solution? Of course. 99% of them will say, yeah, I would love to have that. Because here's the thing. Your potential customer actually likes you for a change. They don't trust you. The trust factor is huge, okay? Prospects will really start calling you, chasing you rather than you chasing them. And that's the reason why you become the trusted authority, the trusted advisor in their eyes. Because from the first time in a long time, they know that you are truly genuine interest in them and what's going on in their world, and not just a salesperson. So let me ask you this. Would you rather continue chasing those prospects, potential customers down, or have them come to you? Reach out to me. I have the magic skill formula, okay? And I work with you personally. I don't just give it to you and say, okay, handle it. I actually work with you one-on-one to make sure that you get this. I show you live demonstrations on how to do this, that you can actually get qualified potential customers within the first 5 minutes of a conversation and having them say yes to whatever you're offering in 30 minutes. Okay? So comment below, info, I'll get in touch with you, or either message me. And let's start working on this together, okay? So I look forward to hearing from you. I hope that y'all will enjoy this, and go and have a beautiful and wonderful day. Talk later.